In today's video, I'm answering your frequently asked Pixel camera questions. Let's get right into it. Okay friends, I have been getting a lot of questions about my Pixel camera and my photos and videos and all of that. A lot more than usual actually, which is interesting. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I figured I would do an updated video like this where I answer your top 5 questions as of recent, and they're all related to the Google Pixel camera and my photos and all of that stuff. I will just say at the top that there's going to be a tutorial in this video as well. I will show you how I edit my photos because it's actually pretty simple. So let's just jump right into it. The first question that I have is, do I use the Pixel for my photos and videos on social media? And the answer is yes. Aside from my YouTube videos, obviously you can see I'm not filming right now using my Google Pixel 9 Pro, but for all of my other social media, any short form content that you see, even on YouTube, like YouTube Shorts, I am using the Google Pixel 9 Pro camera to do all of that, as well as the photos. If you see photos on my community tab, if you see photos on Threads, TikTok, Instagram, basically anywhere, I am using the Google Pixel 9 Pro as well. Okay, the second question is, do I use the Google Pixel to film for YouTube? So this might be a spoiler here, but obviously no, I do not use the Google Pixel 9 Pro to film my YouTube videos. You can see that the phone is in my hand right now. I am using a different camera. I'm using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I believe, but I understand the question because with the Google Pixel 8 Pro, I did film all of my YouTube videos using that phone. So at the time that I had that phone, I was solely using it as my YouTube video camera because I didn't have an additional camera. But now that I have a second camera, I've just been doing it for like organization purposes and actually putting this camera to use. But if I did need to use my Google Pixel 9 Pro to do YouTube videos, I would be more than down to do that. I just haven't been doing that. Okay, third question is, does the quality worsen when posting to social media from an Android? So if I'm posting videos, if I'm posting photos, does the quality get lower once I upload them into Instagram, into TikTok, etc.? And I do notice a very slight difference between different platforms. And I'll just say that this is not the phone's fault. These are the app's fault, quote unquote. It just depends on like their processing and uploading and their cloud and all of that stuff. So it does range depending on the platform. I will say the highest quality that I've seen from my Google Pixel 9 Pro to a social media app is TikTok. It just looks clearer and smoother. Instagram makes it just ever so slightly less quality, but it's very, very subtle. And I've noticed that sometimes I'll go back and it looks high quality, even though the first time I uploaded it, the post doesn't look super, super crisp. So there's just something interesting going on there with Instagram. But I will say with YouTube Shorts, generally speaking, anytime I look at a video, period, on YouTube Shorts, it's not super, super crisp or clear, generally speaking. I know there are some outliers there, but yeah, the YouTube Shorts is probably the worst quality if I'm comparing the three. And if I did have to mention Threads, because I do put videos on Threads and I do put videos on Substack and stuff like that, the quality is very, very high there. Maybe even just a touch higher than Instagram sometimes. So it really does depend and it does change, funny enough. Okay, the fourth question is, do I use filters or a third-party app to edit my photos and videos? And the question is yes and no. So generally speaking, when I'm talking about photos specifically, I do not use any third-party apps. I don't use any of those. I edit in my Photos app, and I'll show you that in a second. Now, if we're talking about videos, if I'm splicing like video clips together, I use a third-party app for that, and I use CapCut, and sometimes I will darken and change the color of my videos in CapCut because I'm already in there like splicing all of the clips together. But more or less, I'm actually doing the editing and that moody vibe that you see on my platforms in the Photos app, not on any third-party app, not using any filters or anything like that. So if you were wondering if I had a filter to share with you, I'm so sorry. I do not use filters. Okay, and so the last question, which leads me into the tutorial, is can you share a tutorial on how to edit photos? So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna use this photo as an example. As you can see, it's just me holding a mug, and I do see some things that I can kind of show you interesting things about here. So let's just jump right into it. As you can see, I am in my camera like my Photos app. I'm not in a third-party app. I'm not anywhere. So I'm just going to hit edit at the bottom. And then I'm going to toggle over to tools, and I'm actually going to use the magic eraser here. I don't typically use it, but sometimes if there's something in the frame that I don't like and I want to make it super perfect, I will use the magic eraser. And I will just say, I don't think the magic eraser is really great in my opinion. I have better options, but I'm just going to erase this little thing in the corner here, just draw a circle around it. And there it goes, it disappeared. That actually did a fantastic job. I think it was actually a simple one in comparison to some other things that I've had it do, but I'll use the magic eraser in this instance and then hit done. And then I'm gonna toggle over to adjust, and this is where all of the edits happen, just in this area. So first I'm gonna start with brightness, and I'm gonna turn the brightness all the way up on my phone so I can see it super accurately. And then I'm going to take the brightness and go all the way down, almost all the way. And I don't have an exact number for you, so if you see numbers here, just know that I'm not using exact numbers to figure this out. I'm just looking at the photo and I'm kind of gauging to see what works best for that particular photo. Then I will move over to contrast and up the contrast just a tad. I do notice that it makes a difference, but very subtle difference. And then I toggle over to highlights. Again, just add a touch of that. Then I toggle over to saturation. Sometimes I use this, sometimes I don't. If I have a photo like this where there's not too much color already naturally happening, I will add a little bit of saturation. I think that looks good. And then warmth. Warmth is a big one. I'm just gonna go all the way up. As you can see, it's very warm now. Then I move over to tint, and I like to make it just a touch pink. Like if I go this way, you see it's green. If I go this way, it looks very pink. I like to make it just get a little pink, truly just a touch. And then I add in some skin tone. I'm not doing this for the actual skin that you see here, my hand. It just makes a little bit more of a roundedness happen with the photo overall, at least from what I can see or what I've noticed. So I add a little bit of that as well. And that's truly it. That is how I edit my photos almost 100% of the time. So I'm just gonna hold down on the screen so you can see the before and after. That's the before, that's the after. And this is honestly ready to go and post on my social media. And that's truly how I edit. That's all I do. So those are the top 5 questions I have been receiving lately. Hopefully the answers to these questions have been helpful and useful. And I do also hope that the tutorial was very helpful as well. I know not everyone has the same exact phone as me, but if you do have a Google Pixel device, more or less the settings are gonna look very similar. So hopefully that was helpful. But if you have any other questions about the Google Pixel devices or the Google Pixel camera in particular, or the way that I edit my videos, my capturing, my whole process, whatever it may be, leave them down in the comments. But thank you so much once again, and I will talk to you in the next video.